father.
While us dedicated enthusiasts of the Castlevania franchise were holding out hope that Konami would finally revive the dormant games, Netflix released a flawless adaptation of Castlevania back in 2017, which has played a pivotal role in sustaining interest in this captivating universe. By skillfully weaving together elements from the video game lore and original narrative, the TV series has managed to strike a harmonious balance between the two, delivering a fresh and engaging perspective on the dark, gothic fantasy realm brimming with its distinctive lore. I mean, I can fight anyone who does not agree with me upon the animated series being the best video game adaptation we have ever seen before. Recent years have witnessed an impressive surge in the popularity of the Castlevania franchise, and much of the credit goes to the highly acclaimed animated series. This show not only received widespread applause, but also introduced a multitude of new fans to the enchanting world of Castlevania. The success was so profound that shortly after the series concluded, Netflix made an exhilarating decision to greenlight a spin-off series, granting us the eagerly anticipated Castlevania Nocturne, which, for your information, is making a comeback for a season 2. Now, we all know that the Belmonts would not be half appreciated if it were for their prime enemy, Dracula. As far as villains go, this vampire is easily the most powerful antagonist in the entire franchise and holds the power to make and break the show. And if it weren't for his clan, Castlevania would probably be just another salt and pepper video game that would burn out high and fast. So anyways, in this video, we will put our sole focus into understanding and exploring the lineage and legacy of the family tree that Dracula sired within the Castlevania franchise. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin.
Vlad Dracula Tepesh, and I have had enough!
Dracula Vlad Tepesh, born as Matthias Kronqvist in the mid to late 11th century. He fought alongside Baron Leon Belmont as a member of a knightly company. Their partnership was legendary, with Matthias contributing his strategic brilliance while Leon showcased exceptional swordsmanship. Amidst a realm of uneducated knights, Matthias stood out as a brilliant tactician, earning the epithet Kronqvist the Wise. His family possessed secret tomes, safeguarding knowledge of alchemical arts passed down through generations. Consequently, Matthias had an intimate understanding of alchemy, setting him apart from his peers. However, while Matthias embarked on an expedition, his beloved wife Elisabetha succumbed to a grave illness. The news of her passing shattered him, rendering him bedridden and leaving his comrade Leon Belmont to carry on with military campaigns by himself. During this time of sorrow, Matthias's anger festered. He began to resent God, feeling betrayed that such a pure and blameless woman as Elisabetha was taken from him. In his despair, he sought a path to immortality, a way to defy God's will and exist outside of his control. His quest led him to the Crimson Stone, a relic considered invaluable to vampires. Matthias acquired it and in the process unwittingly bound an evil deity known as Death to his service. With the Crimson Stone, Matthias could not only control this powerful entity but also absorb the souls of slain vampires, thus becoming one himself and losing his humanity. Matthias's plan to ascend to immortality was intricate and far-reaching. He crossed paths with a powerful vampire named Lord Walter Bernhard, who possessed the Ebony Stone, another treasured vampiric artifact. This stone shrouded Walter's domain in eternal night, granting him unmatched power among vampires. Now, Matthias knew that Walter wanted the Crimson Stone in his possession and decided to use it to his benefit. Walter, seeking diversion from his eternal existence, relished playing perilous games with humans, enhancing the excitement by stealing their most cherished possessions. So, Matthias proposed Sarah Trantoul, Leon Belmont's fiancée, as the next target. With Leon's unparalleled combat skills, Walter could not resist the challenge. Unbeknownst to Walter, he fell into Matthias's intricate plot, resulting in his own demise. As Walter lay dying, Death claimed his soul and transferred his power to Matthias, who materialized in the castle. By absorbing Walter's soul, Matthias became the mightiest vampire, though the Ebony Stone was destroyed during Leon and Walter's confrontation. Matthias revealed the truth to Leon and explained his motives, that everyone involved in the elaborate scheme was merely a pawn, a means to an end. His plan was to become the most powerful vampire, cursing God for the perceived cruelty of taking Elisabetha from him. When Matthias extended an offer of eternal life to Leon, the Belmont, hunted by his own loss, declined, leading Matthias to transform into a bat and leaving his new confidant Death to handle Leon's fate. Despite Death's formidable abilities, he too was defeated defeated, relaying Leon's message to Matthias, a vow that his clan would forever pursue him. Matthias went into hiding, resenting God more deeply with each passing day. He adopted the name Lord of the Vampires and King of the Night. During his unholy existence, he constructed a mystical castle in Wallachia, where he welcomed those who had turned away from God's light or been rejected by it. These individuals were granted knowledge of forbidden devil forgery and allowed to practice their dark arts within his castle. In the midst of his dark journey, Matthias encountered a compassionate woman named Lisa, who would become his beloved. Strikingly reminiscent of Elisabetha, Lisa captured his heart, and they bore a son, Adrian Fahrenheit Tepesch, known later as Alucard. However, rumors of Lisa's medicinal practices being labeled as witchcraft led to her arrest and crucifixion, witnessed by their son Adrian. Now Matthias, learning of this tragedy hours later, spiraled further into despair, vowing revenge against humanity for cruelly taking Elisabetha and Lisa away from him. In time, Lisa's death served as his ultimate catalyst, as Matthias chose to rebrand himself as Dracula, drawing inspiration from the Romanian word Dracul, meaning dragon and devil. This transformation signified the evolution of Matthias Kronqvist into the formidable figure of Dracula, a name eternally bound to darkness and vengeance. Elisabetha Kronqvist, first wife. Elisabetha Kronqvist, the cherished wife of Matthias before he turned into an immortal monster, possessed a beauty that was nothing short of breathtaking. Her graceful features, slender frame, fair complexion, and waist-length pale blonde hair adorned with delicate braids made her a striking figure, and her captivating pale blue eyes mirrored her elegance, and she often graced herself in a long, flowing dress that combined shades of orange and white, accentuated by jewelry adorning her hands and neck. The main catalyst of the Castlevania series was when Elisabetha's life was abruptly cut short, sending Matthias into a profound and unrelenting melancholy. This profound loss left Matthias scarred, forever altering the course of his existence and instigating a transformative shift in his worldview. Fueled by bitterness and grief, he embarked on a vengeful crusade against God, doing everything in his power to defy the divine rules and ultimately embracing the darkness to become the infamous vampire known as Count Dracula. Now, the introduction of Elisabetha in the Castlevania series presents a notable continuity and consistency within the overarching storyline. To grasp this incongruity, let's take a small detour to Symphony of the Night, where it was explicitly stated in the instruction booklet that Lisa was the only woman Dracula ever loved. This game indicated that Dracula had lived for 800 years by 1797, with Alucard being approximately 400 years old. This timeline suggests Alucard's birth around 1400, and it is widely believed that Lisa's tragic death triggered Dracula's descent into his war against humanity. This notion aligns with Dracula's initial battle against the Belmont clan in 1476, led by Trevor. However, Lament of Innocence introduces a conflicting narrative. It portrays Dracula's rebellion against God in 1094 following the death of Elisabetha. Intriguingly, there is no mention of Alucard in this game. This suggests that Matthias Kronqvist, who would later become Dracula, was married to Elisabetha in the late 11th century. It appears that he fell in love with Lisa at a later stage, thereby making her the only woman Dracula ever loved. This anomaly has sparked speculation that Lisa could be a reincarnation of Elisabetha. If they were indeed the same individual, it would then logically follow that Lisa would hold the distinction of being the only woman Dracula ever loved, thus reconciling the apparent inconsistency in the series' narrative. Lisa, second wife. Dracula's second wife, Lisa, also plays a pivotal role in the Castlevania series, even though she never really makes a physical appearance in the games. Her untimely death serves as the catalyst for Dracula's transformation into the central antagonist of the series. Lisa is depicted as a woman of remarkable beauty, characterized by delicate features, fair skin, light blue eyes, and long blonde hair tied in a ponytail that gracefully falls over her left shoulder. While exact details about her life are scarce since Castlevania Symphony of the Night and subsequent materials, it is evident that she lived prior to the 1470s. At some point in her life, Lisa crossed paths with Count Dracula, igniting a passionate relationship with him. Dracula's affection for her was profoundly rooted in the striking resemblance she bore to his previous wife, Elisabetha. Their union led to the birth of Alucard, who inherited the vampiric attributes of his father while retaining his mother's human heart, becoming the first Dhampir ever seen. Curiously, Dracula's marriage to Lisa appeared to temporarily restore his humanity. Lisa, with her exceptional skills, devoted her life to crafting medicines to alleviate the suffering caused by a rampant epidemic. Unfortunately, amidst the witch trials that plagued Europe during her time, Lisa fell victim to apprehension and was subsequently executed. Now, Dracula arrived at the scene too late to save her. While Alucard was also present during her final moments but was powerless to prevent her tragic fate, astonishingly, Lisa pleaded with Alucard to allow the mob to end her life, believing that this sacrifice would ultimately save their souls from eternal damnation. Upon learning of his beloved wife's demise, Dracula swore vengeance. In 1476, he did the exact opposite of what his wife wanted and embarked on his relentless war against humanity, setting the stage for the events that unfold in the Castlevania series.
Not quite.
Alucard, son. Alucard, also known as Adrian Fahrenheit Tepesch, stands as a unique figure in the Castlevania universe, embodying a complex blend of his vampiric heritage and human attributes, owing to his father Dracula and mother Lisa. Possessing the formidable powers of a vampire, Alucard also defies the limitations of sunlight, an attribute of humanity. Raised under the tutelage of his father, Alucard was groomed to become a warrior of darkness. However, the compassionate influence of his mother Lisa, who met a tragic end at the hands of humans, left an enduring imprint on his moral compass. Lisa's dying wish implored Alucard to refrain from causing further suffering to humankind. This heartfelt plea led Alucard to sever ties with his father's malevolent cause and adopt the name Alucard, a poignant reversal of Dracula. Initially introduced as the sleeping soldier, Alucard had plunged into a deep slumber following a confrontation with Dracula. His dormant state persisted until he was awakened by Sypha Belnades and Trevor Belmont, who sought his assistance in their mission to vanquish Dracula. His reawakening showcased his exceptional might as he effortlessly overpowered both Sypha and Trevor, nearly delivering a fatal blow to the latter. Notably, Alucard's abilities encompass the inherent strengths of a vampire, complemented by his exceptional swordsmanship and sharp intellect. His pivotal role in Dracula's ultimate demise culminated in delivering the fatal blow to his own father, thereby ending Dracula's reign of terror. While Alucard may initially come across as a stoic and resolute individual, beneath the surface lies a character burdened by the weight of his blood curse, which condemns him to wander the world endlessly, locked in ceaseless combat. Plus, his mother's tragic execution at the hands of humans had left him with a profound sense of bitterness and detachment from humanity. Alucard carries a pessimistic outlook, meticulously planning every move and hesitating at nothing to vanquish Dracula, irrespective of the cost. Due to his vampiric nature, Alucard tends to keep his distance from those around him, opting for self-imposed exile from the world through eternal slumber, from which he awoke in Symphony of the Night. Yet, he has demonstrated a propensity to forge bonds swiftly when circumstances become dire, as seen in his assistance to the characters in Dracula's Curse.
Despair.
Elizabeth Bartley. Elizabeth, Dracula's niece, as confirmed in Castlevania Bloodlines, possesses a lineage shrouded in mystery. Her origins trace back to Transylvania, Hungary in the year 1560, where she was born into the prominent Bartley family known to have historical connections to the Tepesch family, but Elizabeth's life took a dark turn when she was forcibly betrothed to Daisy Ferrance during her childhood. Their union was formalized in 1575 when Elizabeth was a mere 15 years old and they settled in Chait Castle, nestled in Neatos, Hungary. Despite their recent marriage, Daisy's frequent absences from the castle deeply frustrated Elizabeth, leading her to embark on a path of dark magic under the guidance of a sorceress named Jolta Zuentes. She began tormenting servants in the castle's basement during this time. In her pursuit of preserving her beauty, Elizabeth eventually turned to a gruesome practice, taking the lives of young virgins for their blood. By the year 1600, Daisy passed away when Elizabeth was 40. However, her insatiable thirst for blood persisted, and the count of victims she claimed throughout her lifetime soared into the thousands. Rumors of Elizabeth's blood rituals reached the ears of the Hungarian king in December 1610, prompting him to assign Count George Turzo to investigate the matter. The gruesome discovery of countless drained bodies in the castle's basement led to Elizabeth's confinement for the next 4 years within a chamber of her castle, offering only meager slits for sustenance and air. The events of Castlevania Bloodlines unearthed Elizabeth's resurgence in the early 20th century, orchestrated by by the sorceress Drolta Zawentes. Previously believed to have been executed following Elizabeth's earlier atrocities, Drolta's magic reawakened Elizabeth from a 300-year slumber within the ruins of Castle Dracula. Fueled by vengeance against the imperial family of Austria for her past imprisonment, Elizabeth became embroiled in a plot to assassinate the Austrian prince. Taking advantage of the ensuing war, she devised a nefarious plan that involved using the souls of the countless casualties as sacrifices to resurrect her uncle, Count Dracula, whose resentful spirit had roamed the earth since his prior defeat at the hands of Quincy Morris. In 1917, Elizabeth turned Eric Lecard's fiancée Lucy Seward into a vampire, and during the same year, Elizabeth sought to enact the resurrection ritual requiring her presence at Castle Proserpina, situated about Whitby, England, where Dracula's lingering spirit awaited. However, she found herself relentlessly pursued across Europe by Eric Lecard, driven by a thirst for vengeance against her for the death of his fiancée and John Morris, Quincy's son. As they reached the castle, Elizabeth was compelled to engage the two vampire hunters in a climatic battle, ultimately meeting her defeat and the shattering of her ambitions. Soma Cruz. In the year 2035, when Soma and his friend Mina went to check out the first solar eclipse of the 21st century, they were abruptly transported into the heart of Dracula's castle. With protective instincts kicking in, Soma embarked on a quest to secure an escape route and shield Mina from the malevolent influence of the castle. Within the castle's ominous hall, Soma crossed paths with an array of individuals who, like him, were drawn to his nightmarish realm. From then, he learned a startling revelation that Dracula was dead, but the castle itself sought a new master to ensnare. While battling the castle's monstrous denizens, Soma unveiled an extraordinary ability he never imagined he had: the power of dominance. This supernatural skill allowed him to take the souls of living beings and manipulate them to his will, manifesting in various forms and effects. This power was an offshoot of Dracula's primary ability to command the legions of monsters. Soma's journey through the castle led him to a deranged missionary named Graham Jones, who fancied himself as the reincarnation of Dracula. Graham's fixation on this delusion turned Soma into his target, setting the stage for a harrowing confrontation. Ultimately, Soma emerged victorious in this battle, but the price was steep. In defeating Graham, he absorbed an alarming degree of the castle's malevolent energy, leading to a chilling revelation. Soma came to the shattering realization that his powers and the essence of Dracula's soul were intrinsically intertwined. He had unwittingly become the next incarnation of Dracula, with the potential to inherit Castlevania as its new master. With the guidance of Genya Arikado, Soma embarked on a treacherous journey to the chaotic realm where he confronted the core of chaos, the wellspring of Dracula's dark power. As he wrestled to break free from the castle's grasp, Soma received telepathic encouragement from Mina and the friends he had encountered throughout his perilous adventure. Their unwavering support propelled him to vanquish chaos, preserve his identity, and resist the mantle of Dracula's legacy. In doing so, Soma and his companions managed to escape from Castlevania just as it was drawn back into the eclipse. This profound personal trial transformed Soma, making him more open and trusting of those who had joined him in his journey as an incarnation of Dracula. Yet his enigmatic powers remained an indelible part of him, a reminder of the extraordinary ordeal he had endured within the castle's shadowed walls. Marvelous verdict. Although the list of Dracula's family tree is unseemingly short, all of these characters have left an indelible mark in the Castlevania franchise in their own twisted way. While some were catalysts to some batshit crazy canon events, the others were initiators of pure chaos. Now that we've come to the very end of this video, let us know what your thoughts are on the Tepesh clan. Do you think we will ever see Alucard extending the family line? Let us know what you think in the comment box below.
If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.